Welcome to another episode of the Cellar Dwellers Sportscast with your host, Jake Salter, joined by Francis Parkman and Jeff Salmonson.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Jake Salter here. Like Brian just said, joined today, I guess. It's St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Heck
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Cool.
You hear that in the background?
No.
I like it.
Come on. You
Yeah, I do. I hear it.
Anyway,
Lies.
joining me as always, Francis Parkman. Stop waving. Say hi.
Irish car bombs for everybody
Oh,
tonight.
jeez.
Oh, good God.
Next to him tonight, of course, the bringer of beer back in studio, Mr. Jeff Salmonson.
What is up, boys?
Hey, it's return of the almighty Jeff.
Welcome to another...
I don't know what happened.
And
That was weird.
I,
That was weird.
I like the new sounder, though.
Yeah,
it was
let's
in
try
there.
that again. The almighty Jeff is back in studio. Fantastic.
Bow down.
No, I don't bow to false idols.
Yeah, fair enough.
And joining us for the first time in a while, celebrating NFL free agency, Mr. Steve Miller.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Miller.
What's going on, Miller?
Thanks for having me back.
Finally, somebody else with a brain on this show.
Yeah, right.
Whoa, taking it too far. already.
Wait.
Hey,
Oh, you were talking about yourself.
yeah, okay.
Oh,
All right.
Yeah. Sorry. Not sorry.
nobody likes you.
I know.
I mean, at least you know.
Well, I mean, you know.
Anyway, today is Wednesday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, and the start of the new league year in the NFL, which also means free agency.
Happy New Year,
Yes,
everybody.
sir. Hopefully you're listening on the 18th and you've gotten your fill of NFL free agency from us. Real quick, I just want to let you all know, of course, you can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/CD Sportscast, and Twitter at CD Sportscast, and also YouTube. We still have episodes going up on YouTube, if you believe that or not. But also follow us on Spreaker, Spreaker.com, Apple iTunes Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. And you can always email us at cdsportscast@hotmail.com to tell Francis or Jeff that they suck. Oh, and suggestions, feedback, comments.
There
stuff.
you go.
Yep.
There you go. I like that.
All right, cool.
You suck.
Hey, that's not funny. Why are you looking at me like that?
You can be part of the... I'm not going
true.
to go there.
No! We suck again!
We suck again.
All right. You know what? I'm just going to get right into it.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, what's on tap, of course, brought to you by Square One Rental Kitchen and Events, and they'd like to let you know that their cooking classes are back with COVID-friendly in-person or virtual options. Some upcoming classes through April with Chef Randall on the 14th of April. You can learn to cook a seasoned salmon steak with a hot potato salad, or join B from Deep Blue Seafood Wednesday, the 21st of April at 6 p.m. for a Cajun seafood gumbo, jambalaya, and blackened catfish. That sounds amazing, and I'm hungry now.
Wow.
So go check out squareonekitchens.com for more details and sign up for their cooking classes. They do fill up a bit fast, so do it soon.
You know, the almighty Jeff returns and we didn't order like we had talked about doing.
That button's going to get a lot of mileage.
Thought for sure you guys would have some appetizers or something around here.
Miller thinks he's special. That's funny.
Yeah, not so much, Miller.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What's on tap?
we have Bison recap. We have some maybe some changes coming? Question mark.
Maybe.
A little bit of a Week 4 recap, and of course our FCS Top 10. We'll get into a Week 5 preview, and then the creme de la creme is the NFL free agency signings for 2021, the new league year.
You know, I think this is just, I know I'm crazy saying this. I think we should celebrate the new league NFL year instead of actual New Year's because stuff happens on the new league year.
That's
New
true,
league
it
year.
does.
Fair.
New Year's Day is just another day. You
That's
should, like,
really-
yay, we made it around the sun, and we're just going to...
I'm going to counter that by just saying that I think New Year's Day this year was a little bit bigger of a deal.
maybe.
Bye-bye 2020.
Maybe.
Honestly, standard New Year's is just a bunch of broken dreams because everybody's like, I'm going to work out
Wow.
this year.
This got
And
depressing real
I just
quick.
stopped.
Wait, people actually still make New Year's resolutions?
Some do. I don't.
Yeah.
I'll
Miller,
never keep them.
They usually only last till about the second or third.
What was your New Year's resolution, Miller?
I didn't make one. I don't like to set myself up for broken dreams down the road.
Amen, brother.
That's the thought of an honest man right there.
This podcast got depressing really quick.
Who's depressed? I'm not depressed.
Yeah. Just because you don't want to drink the beer I brought, that's
got
on you.
dark really fast.
I'm not really sure how it got dark.
I don't know. It felt like it got really dark.
I'm real confused about this. Hey, what happened to my Irish music? I gotta get back into that. Hold on. Let's fade that out and let's get back in.
That was fun.
I do like me some Future Furs, but the Irish theme a little bit there today, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, let's start in with NDSU Illinois State last week. NDSU 21, Illinois State 13. Pulled off a win. We could do our what went well versus what could have been better. Jeff, do you want to start off with what went well?
Well, they won.
That did go well.
That happened. That was the thing.
That's good. Their defense looked stout.
Yeah.
They looked really good. Illinois State's not great, but they looked pretty solid. 9 punts, boys. 9.
That's a lot.
Jeez.
They forced 9 punts.
You don't win many games when you punt the ball 9 times in a game.
Yeah, and then honestly, Illinois State didn't even touch the end zone until the third quarter. So they pitched a first half shutout. That was 6 straight quarters of shutout football.
Nice.
So that was cool. And then, man, special teams. This might be the one thing that's going to carry this team a little further than maybe we might even think they might go this year. But cornerback Jaden Price, 85-yard TD punt return, and they blocked a point after to keep a lead when it started getting a little bit dicey and close.
I saw that part, yeah.
And that was a huge momentum turn.
So I don't know if it was Zeb Nolan, if he got benched or what the deal was, but he definitely wasn't out there for the end of the game. What happened there? Anybody know?
From I listened to Matt Ence's press conference. I think it was on Monday. He had a press conference, and there's been a lot of noise, especially from us, that Zeb Nolan is not the guy.
Yep.
And he said the plan was to put Cam Miller in at that point in the game. And it just so happened that it came right after Zeb Nolan threw his second interception of the game.
So it almost looked like he got pulled.
It looked like he got pulled, but that's not the case. It was planned. Either way, it was a good plan.
Yeah, for the record, I'm not sad if it would have been just a straight up pull.
Yeah,
Zeb Nolan's not good.
No, he sucks.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you guys too, do we really believe that was 100% planned, or was Matt Ence kind of going, I mean, it was kind of planned, but this makes perfect sense.
I'd like for him to be fired.
He's got a stud freshman. I mean, why not try him out, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I did not get to see the second half of that game, but from what I saw in the first half, Matt Ence at halftime of that game was asked about the offense and the red zone offense, and he said, "We suck.
Yep.
We suck in the red zone, and we need to get our asses going." That was
Paraphrase,
but he did say we need to get our asses going.
That was he
pretty
did.
close to verbatim, I thought.
Yep.
Pretty dang close. But speaking of Cam, though, he didn't look too bad. He did score a 6-yard touchdown run, 3:39 left in the game, pretty much helped seal it. On that, though, it was interesting. He had a wide open tight end sprinting to the corner of the end zone. Nobody was following him, and he chose to take the run in, which is totally fine. I don't know.
Aaron Rodgers, take notes.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, right.
Actually,
no, don't do that.
I mean, not that I'm concerned about it, but it was one of those, like, man, you have a wide open guy.
You know what I think that is? I think it's just reps.
Yeah.
More reps, you'll
A
get
little
it.
bit of jitters going on for the guy.
I think so. I think so.
First game action.
But, yeah.
Well, he even said it, too, himself. He was like, I was nervous at first, and then, like, the first play happened, and I'm good.
Yeah, and you know, speaking of Miller, though, he completed 5 of 7 passes, 61 yards, went along with his rushing touchdown. He did go for 57 yards on 11 attempts. I love that stat because that is what every quarterback we have had has done, and that's what's helped lead us to a lot of extra those long, prolonged drives.
Yeah.
So many of them have came from the quarterback just extending the drive. Zeb doesn't give us that. Cam does.
Well, and Francis said it too. Zeb doesn't have that pocket presence. He doesn't have the awareness by the looks of it. Breaking news right now. Sorry, we have to point this out because it is NFL Free Agency Day. The Giants are bringing in wide receiver Kenny Galladay for a visit.
Ooh.
Wow.
Dang.
Hey, what's that mean for Daniel Jones and the New York Giants?
He'll like
hopefully
it.
get a trade out of
It'll be
town.
good. They still got to work on that O line.
Yeah.
The Giants do protect Daniel Jones and get solid rush lanes up for Saquon Barkley, who should be healthy. But
He should be back.
Kenny Galladay is going to be a good addition to whatever team he goes to.
Yeah,
so
100%.
the Giants could use him. So
Right on. All right, back to the Bison. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all as far as what went well. I mean, it was a hard-fought win. Probably shouldn't have been that close, but it was a hard-fought win, so we'll take it. What could be better? Offense, all of it.
Yeah. From what I saw, and I only saw maybe a quarter and a half. So
I mean, the running backs look like they're starting to get a little bit better footing. Everybody looked more confident with Cam Miller under center. Everybody did.
I'm pretty sure I probably did.
yeah,
That was one of the eye test things that I saw watching that game. Is as soon as Cam was in, that they seemed to play harder for him than they were for Zeb, and maybe it's just what I saw. I don't know.
they would have felt more comfortable with Steve Miller
I mean,
under
you
center.
can't doubt that the guy has got a
I
great
mean-
name, starting quarterback for the NDSU Bison.
Oh goodness!
Got the name, got the pedigree.
Actually, he's Cam Miller. Entz has not come out and said who he's going to start this week against UND.
Which leads me to wonder, like Jeff was saying earlier, how planned was it?
Right.
Maybe it was planned to the point where he was like, yeah, I'm going to end up starting this kid anyway, and then it was just like, I'm going to plan this, quote unquote. I don't know.
Right.
Hard to say.
I think Cam Miller will be the starter.
I hope he is.
I think
against
Cam
UND.
gets the start. I think he earned it. Now, granted, we saw 7 total passes and
Right.
15 total plays out of him, I guess you could call it, but
It's okay.
he looked the part. He
looked more athletic, in my opinion.
If Zeb Noland was going to start on Saturday, Coach Entz would have said Zeb Noland's our starter.
That's fair. That's true.
I think,
That's very
yeah.
true.
I don't think he would have tried to hide it. So that makes me think it's going to be Cam Miller on Saturday.
All right. Well,
I'll give you that one.
Enough of that. We'll move on just to some other Week 4 scores. So we had number 3 ranked UND taking on Western Illinois. UND took care of business, 38-21. Number 4 UNI upset by Southern Illinois. Number 10, 16-17. Close one over there.
That Southern Illinois team, man.
Yeah, creeping up on people a little bit, I think.
Didn't see that coming
No.
from them.
And then number 23, UC Davis, 13. Weber State, number 2 ranked, had 18. So Weber State taking care of business there.
Yeah.
Of course, we all know James Madison did not play last week due to a COVID cancellation, and I don't think they're going to have another one this
I
week.
don't think
They
they're
are
playing
off
this
again
week
this
either.
week.
I did see that. So into our FCS top 10. JMU staying at the number 1 spot, even though they haven't played this week or last week, or this coming week, rather. UND up 1 to number 2 from 3. Weber State down 1 from 2 to 3. North Dakota State up 1 from 5 to 4. Southern Illinois, they were in that tie for 10 last week.
Yep.
Shot all the way up to number 5.
Beating a lot of really good teams
Yes,
this
they
year.
have.
They have.
Their resume is fantastic.
I agree. South Dakota State, number 6. It's up 2 from 8. Sam Houston State making a jump from 12 to 7.
Haven't seen them in for a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Jacksonville State, they were tied with Southern Illinois for 10, so they went up a couple of spots to 8. Kennesaw State stays idle at 9, and Northern Iowa drops from 4 to 10. Whoops.
Oopsies.
That's the thing with Northern Iowa. They're always touted like this really good team, and they have these games. I wouldn't say the South Dakota State game is a game they should have won,
Fair.
but the Southern Illinois game, I can't even say that. But there's always those games you think, yeah, you and I should win this game, and they don't, and they just don't.
Well, and there's even sometimes, too, where we'll see him on the Bison schedule.
Yep.
And we're like, oh crap, this is going to be a good game,
And it's a laugher.
and it's a good game for a quarter and a half, and then all of a sudden, NDSU finds their footing and stops messing around, and then it's not.
Yeah.
They kind of remind me of like the Lions a little bit, where
Wow.
Well,
I'd say they're better than that.
like specifically playing the Vikings. They're always that tough out for a while, and then something stupid on their part happens, and all of a sudden, oh, there it goes.
That's fair.
Yeah, okay.
Or they keep it so close that you're legit nervous that we're not going to win that game.
Okay, after you explained it, that's a way better comparison than I originally thought it was going to be.
It started out really
good.
low.
Nope, wasn't good.
Yeah, but the looks on both your faces when I said it was priceless.
Yeah. Let's see, wait for it. Timing is everything.
Timing is everything.
Like I said,
That's going straight to his head.
Oh, God. I'm
surprised I got in the room tonight through the doorway.
Oh, my God.
Inflated
You need
head.
to keep a stick of butter at the door so you can grease the sides before you try to attempt to squeeze through it. or what?
Crisco, baby.
Oh, my God. A couple of teams that dropped out of the top rankings. Wofford, number 20, dropped out. South Dakota, 21. Illinois State, 22. And Monmouth, 24. Upcoming Week 5 games here, guys. A couple of them. Not a whole lot going on this week. Number
There's a couple
6,
doozies, though.
Yeah, number 6, South Dakota State, and number 5, Southern Illinois. That should be a decent one. That one is Saturday at 12
Go Salukis.
p.m.
Dang right.
Yep. And then the big one, number 2, North Dakota Fighting Hawks.
Ooh.
At number 4, NDSU Bison.
Go Bison all day.
2:30 p.m. Central on Saturday. Cal Poly at 21, UC Davis at 4 p.m. And then we have South Dakota at Youngstown State at 12 p.m. Central. The top 2 are pretty good. The bottom 2, not so much.
Not so much.
I'm thinking Ent should definitely let Zeb start this weekend.
What is wrong with you?
Sounds like a
Give him another shot.
words of a truly backwards UND fan.
Wow.
And it's not even being a UND fan. Sometimes you just want to root for somebody besides the Bison, right? Come on.
No.
No.
Can't say.
No.
Can't say. Although I will say, outside of NDSU, I want to see like the JMUs win so we can see them in the national championship. But that's why. And then JMU promptly loses to NDSU. But that's it. That's all I want.
I'm with you on that one.
So before we get into our next little segment here, I don't know, do you guys have anything else in FCS this week? It seems pretty light.
I was hoping UND and NDSU would have a trophy for this game because they retired the nickel trophy.
Fair.
I was hoping like the student bodies or student governments would have agreed on a trophy for this game.
You know what? I think they will after this game.
Especially with the implications.
If it's a good game like it looks like it could be, I could easily see them coming up with something. The one thing I do wish that there was this week would be tailgating. Can you imagine what tailgating would be this week for this game with these two teams the way they're playing right now?
Huge.
Oh, man.
You know what? It's good, though. I like the rivalry, and I'm glad that UND is better to make it a better game.
Yep.
I think it'll be a lot of fun to watch, honestly.
Do you guys think there's any possibility UND actually beats NDSU?
Yes.
Oh, big time.
Yes.
I think so.
Oh yeah. NDSU isn't what they were, and UND is better than they have been.
They are proven
thus
to be
far,
a legit team.
The keys to victory for UND is keep the ball as long as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's really about it.
that's really the formula for any team that plays NDSU this year.
Yep.
Hang on to the ball.
It's going to come down, can their offense sustain drives? And if they can, they will probably win. And if they can't, they're in some trouble, I think, especially if Miller starts.
NDSU's defense is stout, but you don't need that many splash plays to beat them. You just need consistent plays. You need you got to convert on 3rd and short. You can't get yourself into 3rd and long. And I know that sounds really cliche, but with this defense,
it's 100%
true.
I think the running game will be big for UND.
Yeah.
They need to run the ball well.
Yeah.
If they can run, we're in trouble.
Cool. Anything else?
No.
We went on a little bit longer than FCS.
That's
fine.
fine.
That's fine.
Well, we're going to get into some NFL free agency for obvious reasons because it is the 17th of March. It is the new league year and the opening of NFL free agency, which is the biggest reason why Steve Miller is helping us out in studio today. He's got some things to say and pretend to know what he's talking about, I guess.
I think pretending to know what I'm talking about would be an accurate statement.
All right, fair. Cool.
Sounds good. And I know we're going to get off on tangents in the NFL free agency, so I'm just going to get this out of the way real quick. Square One, guys, they have Square One to go. You know what that is?
Please tell us.
I want food.
So Square One to go means that you can pre-order delicious meals made by local food businesses and you can pick it up curbside. It's up in North Fargo. This week featured a to-go takeover by Heart and Soul Community Cafe. They actually were back with another fundraiser. Next week is going to feature a pre-order starting this Friday, the 19th. You can order the 19th through Wednesday, the 24th, at 10 a.m. You can pick it up curbside on March 25th between 4:30 and 6:30, but it is Maria's Homestyle Mexican.
Ooh!
So they're going to be back with some dinner. So you can check that dinner off the to-do list with Square One to Go Thursday dinners. From anywhere between individual hot and ready options, you have Italian, barbecue, Mexican, blah blah blah, more. Menus change weekly, so check back often and see what they're cooking up at squareonekitchens.com. And just to throw a plug out there, I actually ordered a couple of meals today.
Ooh.
They were doing a special for their for St. Patrick's Day, and they had shepherd's pie and some soda bread, so I ordered that.
That's cool.
Yeah. So,
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to that. Should be pretty all right. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, let's get into it.
Yeah.
All right.
Free agency.
Happy
NFL.
New Year, everybody.
That's right.
Happy New Year, Francis.
All right. So we started off by typing out a list of some free agency happenings that were going on.
And then we got smart.
We quickly fell
That is a
behind.
big list.
Quickly fell behind. But I don't know. I guess we can. Do we want to start on our list, or do we want to go from the big list?
Let's go from the big list.
Let's
Go from the big list.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we'll start off, and we'll start off in the AFC East.
All right.
All right. Any surprises or anything that you see in the AFC East, starting with the Buffalo Bills? Anybody?
I love Emmanuel Sanders going there.
Yeah, you beat me to it.
Oh, man.
He's a great compliment to Diggs on the outside. He's
Boo.
Definitely an upgrade over to Brown.
Oh, I'm
Yep.
loving
Yes.
that pickup for the Bills.
Yep. That's the big one from Buffalo. Outside of that, I don't know they made really any other.
Quiet.
They're pretty quiet, thus far in free agency.
I mean, Darrell Williams is a solid tackle pickup, but he's not splashy.
Sure. I don't know. I like the Darrell Williams thing just because. I mean, not Daniel Jones. Sorry, I was thinking about Daniel Jones. Why can't I think of the quarterback for the Buffalo
Josh
Bills?
Allen.
Josh Allen. Thank you.
That guy.
Got to protect him. I mean, he doesn't need a whole lot of protection the way he moves and everything like
Fair.
that. But
Right. And he's a big boy.
big dude.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on then. Miami Dolphins. Just going through the list here, looking at the first one at the top of the list. In my opinion here, quarterback Jacoby Brissett signing a 1-year, $5 million contract. After letting Fitzmagic go, do you guys think this is a good move for the Miami Dolphins?
I think it's a good move for the Miami Dolphins. I don't think it's a good move for Tua Tagovailoa. I think it's another veteran in there that could easily take his job if he underperforms.
Which
So I think they're doing Tua a disservice by getting an NFL starter caliber quarterback, and Jacoby Brissett is that.
Oh, he is, and he's shown that, he's proved it.
I get that, but at the same token, I like having somebody like that able to come in. If Tua doesn't show out, the Dolphins are getting really close to being they're
Sure.
right there. And you have a guy that can come right in and step in and take that team over and do what they need to do. So I like it from there. But yeah, Francis, I 100% get what you're saying, because if you're Tua right now, you're looking over your shoulder again.
I think it's a really good insurance policy by the Dolphins.
Yeah, and it is, and I
And
guess
a
I could
little
have
bit of
said it that way instead of going the roundabout way, but
Maybe a little bit better option than Fitzpatrick. Not that he wasn't fully capable as a starter for
Right.
5-6 games a year if he needs to be.
right.
Right.
Hey, Miller, do you think that this could be like a camp competition type of thing, or do you think Brissett wins it outright?
I think Tua's going to be fully entrenched as the starter this year. I think they're going to give him every opportunity to show what he has, win, lose, or draw for him.
Yep. I think it's Tua's team for now, but Jacoby Brissett is there, and he will be ready.
I'd be curious of what leash he has. How long is that leash for Tua?
Or Tua, rather? Yeah.
How long is that?
Miami wanted Tua for 2 years before he got drafted to him, and I think they're going to just ride or die with him.
Wait for the draft.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say. Yep. Wait for the draft, and I think that'll tell you everything you need to know about Tua's leash this year.
There you go.
Fair enough.
There you
go. Moving down the list a little bit on the Dolphins, we have Malcolm Brown signing a 1-year deal. Isaiah Wilson, of course, acquired in a trade with the Tennessee Titans.
Bye. Have fun.
And come on, tell me how you really feel.
Fat bitch.
Wow. Oh, jeez. Dang.
That's a huge bitch.
Wow.
All right,
Come
then.
fight me, Isaiah Wilson, you punk.
Like him much?
You punk.
Bernardrick McKinney acquired in a trade with the Houston Texans along with a 7th-round pick in exchange for Shaq Lawson.
That was a wash of a trade.
It was, I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
But that's really all I see from Miami. We'll move on to New England here. The big one,
this is going to take a while.
The big one, which is weird to me, I think, Cam Newton re-signing on a 1-year deal worth up to $13.6 million with a base of $5.1 and a $2 million signing bonus, $1.5 guaranteed. I thought they were going to move on from Cam. Does anybody have a strong opinion about this at all? Miller, you got your hand up.
Last year they, I believe they signed him to $2 million contract.
Yeah, it was something
some
like that, like
incentives
the
or
veteran
whatever,
minimum
and,
or something like that.
They must have got together a couple weeks back and they were like, you know what? Let's give him $10 million this year and or $13 million, and hopefully he throws more than 10 touchdowns.
Jackass.
He got to double-digit touchdowns.
I think he had 10 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. He had 12 more rushing, but still, you don't.
Well, he had 7 of those rushing in the first 3 weeks.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
Helped out my fantasy team weeks 1 through 3 last year.
And
Nailed that.
I feel like the
that
money
one.
could have been used elsewhere, but the Patriots, they just decided they were going to spend
Here's
a whole
my
bunch of money.
Here's my thing with it. I was surprised at the money Cam Newton got. I'm not surprised that he's back in New England. If you guys remember last offseason, I think Cam signed right as training camp started. I want to say
it was real close.
It was real close
Yeah.
to the
Right, yeah.
beginning of training camp. So
Which
he
is
had
virtual, kind of, right?
had
Yeah.
no training camp was
Oh, no,
in person.
it was in person. Yeah,
but he
yeah.
didn't have any of the virtual OTAs or
Right.
off season.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Had no chance to get into the playbook. So I'm thinking they, bring him back. He knows the playbook a bit now, and now he can have an entire off season to learn it and learn those nuances. Got to be a better thrower of the football than he was last year, because that was embarrassing.
You know what? We've seen that from Cam too. He can do it. I don't know. I don't know.
A couple years back with the Panthers alone, the guy was on fire.
Yeah, he's an MVP or 2015.
Maybe that shoulder injury and the surgery is way worse off than maybe we thought.
Sure.
But he
Could
did
be
not
possible.
look good at doing that last year at all. I agree.
One thing is he looked like he was kind of settling into a little bit of groove, and then he got COVID.
Yeah.
And then he was, for 5 or 6 weeks, he kind of nosedived.
Yeah.
Well, so I
forgot about that.
I got a question for you guys then, though. Look at their. I was
Everybody else they signed?
Well, no.
How much time you got?
No, I was going to say last year, look at the talent he had around him, and now I'm going to say,
yeah.
look at the lack of talent he had around him at the wide receiver position. How much of his bad throwing came to those guys could not get open?
Well, here we go, Jeff. So, wide receiver Nelson Aguilar agreed to a 2-year contract worth $26 million.
Made the most of that opportunity with the Raiders.
Yeah, shut up.
Yep.
His deal has an annual base salary of $11 million with $2 million in incentives per year. My question is why do people keep taking a flyer on Nelson freaking Aguilar?
Because he flashes just enough.
Worked out for him last year.
Well, here's the thing. The Patriots had to go out and sign 2 awesome tight ends because Cam can't throw the ball more than 20 yards at a clip.
To your point, Hunter Henry agreed to a 3-year, $37.5 million contract, and Jonnu Smith a 4-year, $50 million deal. So,
Yeah.
So I don't know why you spend $26 million on Nelson Aguilar when all he does is catch long balls. Basically, he's not a short ball receiver.
I mean, I guess he takes the top
Right.
off for the tight ends.
Cam can't throw the ball that far, and every defense knows it.
Seeing the deal Jonnu Smith got, I understand why he is no longer in Tennessee, because I would
That's
not have paid him that much.
Big payday.
Oh,
Yeah.
big
Would
time.
not have paid him
Big
that
time.
much.
I like Jonnu. He's all right.
I liked Jonnu.
Yeah.
I liked
Oh,
that he
yeah.
went to New England for fantasy purposes. I immediately was mad when they then signed Hunter Henry.
Do you think Jonnu was mad that they signed Hunter Henry the next
I would
day?
be.
Well,
I
he
certainly
probably-
would be.
He just went from probably like 90 catches to 45.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, he just halved his
yeah.
production.
His yeah. I certainly would be.
The only other acquisition I see on here that's worth mentioning, I think, is Trent Brown, acquired via trade with the Raiders, protecting Cam Newton, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know any
Matt
other
Judon.
any other names on here. You guys, you said Matt Judon.
Matt Judon signed. I think he was one of the first players to sign in free agency.
I think you're right.
Oh yeah, the 4-year, $56 million
Yep.
deal.
Yep, that's a good sign. That's a good signing. That the defense wasn't really the problem for
No.
New England last
They
year.
had a pretty decent defense.
They had even with all their opt outs that they
Mm-hmm.
had, they get all those opt outs back. Now they get Matthew Judon, so he's going to help New England a lot. I think they just in free agency and on paper they closed the gap on Buffalo quite a bit. I'm
Quite a bit?
Buffalo's still better. Buffalo is still going to win the division this year, most likely, but New England is right back up there.
Yeah, and you can never really count them out yet, even
Right.
still now. Before we move on, I do want to let our listeners know, too, if you're expecting to hear some draft prospect rankings this week, we ditched that in favor of NFL free agency because we figured you'd want to hear more about that than maybe some rookie centers and linebackers. So
Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
We'll get after that next week.
we postponed that till next week. And also, I don't know, Francis said that he might have a mock draft-ish.
Yeah, that'll come out tomorrow. I was
Okay.
going to have it out today, and then,
Life happened.
2 days ago and yesterday, and even still today, free agency made my mock draft look like I pulled names out of a hat at random.
Perfect.
So I'm
All
going,
good.
I'm redoing it.
Wait, that's not how you normally do your mock draft?
So
Oh, okay.
basically a 1 week pause on draft prospect rankings and some mock drafts. So in case
Yeah.
you're wondering, now you know. All right, we'll move on to the New York Jets. A couple of them here that pop out at me is wide receiver Corey Davis agreeing to a 3-year, $37.5 million contract.
Explains why Tennessee did not re-sign him, because
Also true.
he's not worth that to a team. I mean,
Good
he's-
receiver, but damn, that's a lot of money.
He's worth it to the Jets.
Jets have money to
Tennessee,
burn, though.
Tennessee was not going to give him $12 million. I talk on Tennessee's Facebook page a lot with other Titans fans, and
All three of you, huh?
all three of us. No, there's like 8 of us in North Dakota.
Oh, it's
I
growing
found
to
out.
8 now?
Yeah,
8?
just like some random
expanding.
ones. But a lot of them are like, we need to re-sign Corey Davis. It's like, Corey Davis is going to want like $13 million. I would only be willing to pay him like 9 tops. Like, and everyone's like, oh, and even when after he signed, they're like, we need to resign Corey Davis. Like, dude, he got $12.5 million per year. Like, that's no.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's fine. Sam Darnold or Zach Wilson or whoever is going to be their quarterback, because that situation is very fluid still.
Yeah.
They got a good receiver. It took him a little while to blossom, kind of like Devontae Parker did in Miami.
Sure.
Yeah, very. Yeah.
I don't see any other names worth mentioning here. Do any of you guys see anything else? Corey Davis is the one that popped out at me.
Defensive end Carl Lawson got a pretty good deal. He was highly sought after in free agency, so he'll help the pass rush for the Jets.
They need any help.
Jeff, speaker pass.
Pass.
Miller, speaker pass.
It's the Jets pass.
Poor Jets.
Into the AFC North we go. Starting with the Baltimore Ravens. Francis, do you see any names that pop out of you for this team?
Really, just a lot of guys they re-signed. Derek Wolfe, Pernell McPhee, re-signing, and then guard Kevin Zeitler. Is going to help Lamar Jackson in the running game.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
I mean, so far they've been really quiet, keeping their
core.
core intact,
Sure.
their defensive core.
You know, in the offseason, I heard a lot about guys from Baltimore saying, hey, we might target like a number one type wide receiver and whatnot.
Yep.
So I was kind of, I haven't heard any rumors of Galladay or anybody, but I would think that'd have to be somebody they're interested in.
Right now, Galladay's linked to the Giants. Remember, we just saw that not that long ago.
Pay attention. No, I'm just kidding.
Coming back to the TV. But I think they need a receiver.
I agree with you. I think they do need a receiver. And maybe they address that in the draft.
Yeah.
So
they could.
All right, let's move on. Cincinnati Bengals. Nothing here that pops out at me either.
Big one, Trey Hendrickson. He was in a contract year with the Saints last year, and he balled out for him, and he cashed in.
Yep.
That's it?
That's all I got. Yeah.
All right, cool.
That's why I stopped talking.
All right, then.
I just thought it was a rare instance where we finally shut Francis up.
Please.
That doesn't happen.
Cleveland Browns, somewhat quiet, but they did sign safety John Johnson to a 3-year, $33.75 million deal. 24 of that guaranteed. Your thoughts, Jeff?
I like that pickup.
Yeah?
That is a solid safety, and they need defensive help. That was probably their one big weakness that they had was in that secondary, and they addressed part of it. Francis, you think they go after cornerback in the draft?
Yeah, they need somebody with Denzel Ward. I like the John Johnson signing too. He's a playmaker there in the back or in the defensive backfield rather. Gonna make that defense was so last year. I mean, they were good enough to get into the playoffs.
They had their moments for sure.
Yep. Oh yeah, definitely.
I expected them to be better last year on defense. What say you, Miller?
Yeah, I mean, I like the signing for Johnson, and they also got him at a really reasonable price too. He can be a playmaker at times. Yeah, it's not definitely going to hurt their defense at all to have him.
Along the same lines, we do have Takaris McKinley. He agreed to a 1-year deal up to $4 million.
I was just going to bring him up. Yep. So if you guys remember Tack McKinley, he was a first rounder by the Falcons, I want to say about 3 years ago. Never really panned out with the Falcons, and then I believe he went to the Raiders last year and never panned out. He has the talent to be a really good player, opposite of Myles Garrett. And if the Cleveland coaching staff can get that out of him and, get him to his full potential, the Browns could have one of the best pass rushing duos in the league in 2021.
Stefanski would be the guy to do it if they can do it. I mean, I love him as a coach. I still wish he was Minnesota's coach.
I gotta be honest. I know Cleveland made the playoffs last year. Did way better than they've done in the past 20, 25 years, right?
Yep.
I feel like, and OBJ was an example of this too. Like a free agent, like hotbed. I'm just not seeing it this year. Do they have? Is it just because maybe they feel like they have their core pieces in place and they don't need to move any further, or maybe they have a draft plan? Miller, do you have an opinion on that at all?
They do have a lot of high-priced guys.
That's true.
Right at the moment with OBJ. I mean, they got Baker. They got to re-sign him. They're set at running back. Their offense is pretty set at the moment. They're probably just filling pieces plugging holes right now, trying to.
I guess I'm not. When you put it that way, I'm not too surprised that they go after the other side of the ball. Francis,
the Browns are a consistently good defense away from the AFC Championship.
Yeah, they really are.
That's how the Browns are going to win. They're going to win with defense and running the football. Baker Mayfield's never going to be a 4,500 yard, 35, 40 touchdown guy. So. I think they'll still go defense in the draft, and like I said, if they get the right guys, John Johnson fits. If they can get Tack McKinley to be get that first round pedigree out of him,
sure,
they'll be right there in the mix for the AFC. I mean, and they were in the mix for the AFC Championship last year.
Yeah, they absolutely were.
They gave KC everything they could possibly
little bit by chance, but. It won't be by chance this year if that defense improves.
Correct.
All right. We'll move on to the last team in the division right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The one signing that pops out at me is cornerback Cameron Sutton staying in Pittsburgh on a 2-year, $9 million deal. I feel like that was a move that they needed to do.
Yep.
Any other moves you think they should do, guys? Anyone of you? Doesn't matter.
I mean,
Should have tried to bring back Bud Dupree.
I mean, if Juju's
Oh,
gone,
well.
you might want to maybe look at receiver. But Pittsburgh is notoriously good at finding receivers in the draft.
But they
so.
re-signed Ray McLeod, so it's fine.
Oh, Ray.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ray.
Uncle Ray. Yeah,
no,
it just the Steelers are going to do what the Steelers do. It's worked for 50 years.
And they're going to find a way to be good.
Yep, they'll get
Maybe
that.
not great, but good.
They'll get that third round receiver, and he'll be amazing. You know, they'll find that linebacker to replace Dupree, and he'll fit right in. Maybe they draft Micah Parsons in the first round. Maybe
That would be the best thing they could do.
they
right?
move
Oh,
up
man,
and
that'd
take
be-
Micah Parsons
Yep.
because Parsons won't get to him at what is it, like 20 or 23?
Something, yeah, something,
Something
around
like
there.
early
that.
20s.
Yeah, he won't fall that far, so they'll have to trade up. But if they do that, then they're right back, where they were when they had Bud Dupree, a healthy Bud Dupree.
Fair.
I should say.
Fair.
All right, we'll move on to Francis's division, the AFC South, and we will start with rival Houston Texans, and they got about a list about as long as the Patriots do.
My favorite signing from this, I'm going to take over here, is
go ahead.
they signed quarterback Tyrod Taylor to a 1-year, $5.5 million deal that could be worth up to $12.5 million, which tells me Deshaun Watson is not long for this team.
No,
I think he's on the way out the door. They just got to find the right deal.
So happy.
I'm curious to see what this $5.5 million deal could be worth up to 12.5 means. Is that a lot of incentives there as far as like?
I bet
Just
that's
don't
right.
have any sexual assault cases pending against you, and we'll give you the full boat.
I'm assuming playtime, probably touchdown count, yard count, playoff.
Performance-based
So-
if you
incentives.
make it to the playoffs.
Do they pay their
if
team
you-
doctor extra if they don't puncture his lung with a needle?
I'm thinking Tyrod
I mean-
should bring his own doctor with.
Man. Poor Tyrod Taylor.
Oh man.
The
Poor
guy's
LA
got the
Chargers
worst luck.
doctors just trying to do a job.
Moving on, running back Mark Ingram signed a 1-year deal worth up to $3 million. Included a $500K signing bonus and a $1.5 million base salary.
I do like that,
Oh,
though,
good.
with David Johnson there. I kind of like that 1-2 punch. It
Sure.
semi-reminds me of what Ingram had in New Orleans.
Not even close.
Well, no, that's why I said semi. It's not that, but it's a nice running back
If
tandem
David
there.
Johnson returns to his 2015 All-Pro form, I believe it was 2015. Sure, that's a great 1-2 punch like he was in New Orleans. But
Isn't it weird when he broke his wrist? It all went downhill from there.
yeah,
he forgot how to run after he broke his wrist. That was weird.
It shouldn't be that way.
All right.
It seems backwards. But, yeah.
whatever.
Wide receiver Andre Roberts agreed to terms on a 2-year deal worth up to almost $6 million.
Great special teamer.
Farrell Brown, 1 year, 2.2.
Resigned.
Shaq Lawson acquired and trade with Miami.
Marcus Cannon, tackle, acquired in a trade with the Patriots.
Yep.
Be on the right side with Laramie Tunsil on the left.
I kind of like the Kirksey pickup at linebacker.
Just going to say linebacker Christian Kirksey, 1-year deal, $4.5 million. You got Vernon Hargraves, the third, re-signed on a 1-year deal. A lot of 1-year deals and a lot of defense.
Well,
than
in Houston's defense, they didn't have a lot of cap space to begin with,
Yeah, that's
and they had a lot of holes. So, and obviously with the cap going down $16 million, that was a lot. I expected a lot of 1-year, low money, high incentive laden deals, and that's kind of what we're seeing.
Here's
Right.
the thing with Houston, though.
yeah, we talked about that last week a little bit.
Yep.
With that cap, that thing's going to explode going into next year.
Oh yeah, it'll probably
It's gonna
jump by
be
20.
enormous going into next year.
If there's fans, yes.
Yes.
I'm assuming here, obviously,
Right.
because it's going to be like September when this all
Right.
really gets going. But I'm assuming they're going to have fans. If that's the case, I can see this cap jumping huge.
$25 million.
And Houston is sitting prime with all these 1-year deals to have a lot of room to go after it next year.
Any thoughts, Miller?
Nothing.
Cool.
I think we spent too much time on Houston.
You're probably right. They had a lot of players.
I
Fair enough.
agree.
Fair enough.
Well, this will be a quick one. Indianapolis Colts. We all know that Carson Wentz acquired in a trade via the Philadelphia
Hope
Eagles.
he never wins another game.
Sorry, not sorry,
Touche.
Francis.
Hope he never wins another game.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
I the hell cares.
And and running back Marlon Mack re-signed a 1-year deal, $2 million. I don't think we need to talk about the Colts much.
Nope.
All right, moving on. We'll go to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have a lengthy list as well. Carlos Hyde, the big one, 2 years, $6 million.
Veteran backup.
Yep,
That's what
I
he
like
is
it.
for James Robinson.
Pretty much it. They did get Shaq Griffin. That is the actual big one.
Yep.
Yeah.
3-year, $44.5 million deals with Jacksonville, $29 million guaranteed. Does he really help out that defense that much for that much money?
Can't hurt it.
Nope, it can't.
No.
I mean, the Jaguars are another one of those teams that, like the Jets and even the Patriots, had holes everywhere. So
Yeah.
anybody they got is going to help them. I'm kind of bummed that the Titans didn't make a run at Shaquille Griffin because I think the only starter from our secondary last year we have right now is Kevin Byard because Adoree Jackson got released yesterday. And
Yep.
So now all of our starting corners from last year are gone. Christian Fulton's still there, but we didn't see enough of him. So I was really hoping we'd take a run at Shaquille Griffin.
We'll get into the Titans in a bit. Any thoughts on the Jaguars?
Nah.
Marvin Jones, sneaky good signing for Trevor Lawrence.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll give you that one.
You guys,
He's a really good number 2 to number
Yep.
3 receiver.
you guys saw plenty of him when he was with Detroit.
That's
Yep.
fair.
And
Yeah.
you pair him with DJ.
Yeah, DJ Chark and Laviska Shenault. That's turning into a pretty decent trio of wide receivers the Jaguars have.
Oh, and
begrudgingly.
like you said, the veteran presence there, he's going to help those two
Mm-hmm.
along big time.
Yep.
All right, Francis, here we go.
Bud Dupree.
Yeah, boy.
Tennessee Titans. Take it over.
Bud Dupree signed a 5-year contract worth up to $85 million and $35 million guaranteed. I love this signing. He's a high motor guy. I believe he was on pace to break his career record for sacks last year before he tore his ACL in December. We also signed defensive end Danico Autry from the Colts on a 3-year deal worth $21 million or $21.5 million. I think I like the Danico Autry signing actually more because he's one of those players. He's not like a huge name, but he's like consistently like a thorn in your side if you're an offense.
Yeah.
He just always seems to be there around the ball or making a play. So I like that one a lot. We agreed to terms with Anthony Ferkser on a 1-year deal. He really showed up last year after Jonnu Smith got hurt. Jeff Swaim, tight end Jeff Swaim is coming back. He showed up a lot when Smith got hurt. Outside of that, and then another one that came through today that I really love. Linebacker Jayon Brown is back on a 1-year deal worth $5.25 million. He actually injured his, I believe it was like he dislocated his elbow.
I was going to say elbow injury. I'm
Against the
pretty sure.
Ravens in the regular season game. So we lost him for the year. I'm glad he's back. Our defense was bad last year, but Jayon was one of the bright spots, probably the only bright spot last year on that defense.
That's fair.
And then there's no details on this, but the Titans yesterday did sign cornerback Janoris Jenkins, who spent last year with the Saints. So I'm excited. I like the signings. They're committed to the defense.
Do you think the Jenkins agreement is going to be better than having either Jackson or...
I think it'll be better than having Adoree Jackson because Jake, you and me and our friend Sean Derby were talking about this last night a little bit. Adoree Jackson's fast. That's all he is. He's fast.
Fair.
He has no cover skills.
No ball skills.
No, he's got great ball skills. He's got no cover skills.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is.
And Jenkins will be better than Malcolm Butler because Malcolm Butler's slow. He can't keep up with the faster receivers in the league. Jenkins can do both, can cover and keep up with those faster receivers. So I like it. I like the signing. I like that they're committed to the defense. I will say though, with the guys they did sign on the defensive side of the ball, if the defense is still terrible, heads will roll in the front office.
I would hope so. Actually,
That's fair.
I like Jenkins. He's an absolute ball hawk.
Jackrabbit.
Yeah.
Jackrabbit Jenkins.
He goes after it.
All right. Moving on, hey, we're going to get into the AFC West, so we're going to start with the Denver Broncos. Really only got one, maybe two, I guess. Defensive tackle Shelby Harris staying in Denver on a 3-year deal worth $27 million, 15 of that guaranteed.
That's a solid keep.
I think so. And then cornerback Ronald Darby agreed to a 3-year, $30 million deal. That includes 19.5 guaranteed. Any thoughts on those?
I like the Ronald Darby. They needed a cornerback. If you've seen our mock drafts, the Broncos need a cornerback, and I still think they're going to take one. I like it. They franchise tag safety Justin Simmons, too, so they're rebuilding their secondary a bit, and Darby and Simmons is a good start.
All I got to say is, hey, Joe Dom, with these signings, are they going back to the Super Bowl again this year?
Want to bet a fish slap on it?
Yeah, how about a fish slap? Oh, yeah, you're going to listen to this. Comment.
Awesome. Miller, any thoughts?
Not on Denver. No.
Right on. We'll move on. Kansas City Chiefs signed a 5-year contract with offensive guard Joe Thuney worth $80 million. Includes $32.5 fully guaranteed at signing, and the third year of the contract is only guaranteed for injury, but it converts to full in 2022, which brings the entire practical signing guarantee to a $48 million deal for guarantees. And they are in the middle of re-signing a 1-year deal with defensive end Taco Charlton as well. Any thoughts on the Chefs?
I actually, while we were talking, I believe it was about the Jaguars, I did see that they agreed to a contract with offensive guard Kyle Long, who came out of retirement.
I thought that was the Bears.
He was with the Bears, but I guess he was a free agent, chose to retire, came back.
Yeah, because he's been out for over a year, so
they
nobody
don't have
had
the
the rights.
rights
Don't own the rights. So, not surprising. We all saw what happened in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Their offensive line.
So not good.
It was,
nope.
So getting Joe Thuney and Kyle Long should
At least
help.
Yeah.
They still need to get a tackle as they released Eric Fisher.
Correct.
Last week, I believe it was, and their other starting tackle on the right side. So, but they're building the line from the inside out. So they're on their way.
They're the Chiefs. They'll be fine.
All right, moving on. Las Vegas Raiders. The first one I think is kind of weird is Richie Incognito still in the league.
Yeah.
1-year deal worth up to $2.62 million. Yannick Ngakoue signed a 2-year contract worth $26 million. And John Brown signing a 1-year, $3.75 million deal. Any thoughts on that?
I think the Raiders are probably going to have the shortest 3 starting receivers in the NFL.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, who do they have right now? John Brown, Henry Ruggs, and
Renfro.
Hunter Renfro. Yeah.
If you stack them all on top of each other, they're like 6'4".
They maybe touch Megatron.
And that's
at
why
that
we
point.
brought Miller on board this week.
It's like Team Willy Wonka.
I'm curious. Jeez. Oh my God.
Oh, God.
Oh my Lord.
Thank you.
I mean,
All right.
Oh, that
Okay.
was fantastic.
I think it's interesting. We're going to get back on topic here in a little bit.
Do we have to? That was great.
I think it's
Ain't
interesting
nobody got time for
when Yannick Ngakoue was a Jaguar, he wanted that $20 million or whatever it was a year from the Jaguars. He wasn't going to get it. Got traded to the Vikings. I'm not sure. Did you guys? Was there any optimism that he would sign with the Vikings long term? No.
no.
Okay.
No, I honestly thought that he was a rental, and while I was right, I didn't think it'd be for 4 games or whatever it was ended up being. But yeah,
Right.
Exactly.
Well, then the Vikings traded him to Baltimore, who needed pass rush help, and they passed on him. So it's curious that he only got $26 million over 2 years. I'm wondering if it's like an attitude thing with him. That he didn't get as much as he wanted.
I don't know. It might be, but it could be a salary cap thing this year too.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
This year is so weird because you can't really read into these signings like you normally could. Like we talked about earlier with all these like 1-year deals that some teams are doing and stuff like that. Like we talked about that last week where it's like, hey, this could be the year of the 1-year deal because the cap is so low.
Sure.
And it probably will be.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of teams with dead money out there because they're trading players and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then the cap shrinking down. I mean, you're not seeing
Eagles.
the 2-year $60 million or 65 or whatever
that is. Yeah.
I did see on the TV here while we were doing talking about some other team, the Raiders also agreed to a 1-year deal with defensive lineman Solomon Thomas coming over from the 49ers
I'm
for
good with that.
up to $5 million. Oh yeah, you're the Niners fan. You did. I know a bunch of other like hardcore 49ers fans who absolutely despise Solomon Thomas. Like,
yeah,
what's
he's
that
just
about?
he never panned out the way he was supposed to. Typical. I mean,
Yeah. Yet you traded DeForest Buckner to Indianapolis.
Yeah, I'm still a little hurt about that.
There is that.
Yeah.
Jerks.
All right, moving on. The Los Angeles Chargers, the big one, center Corey Linsley signed a 5-year, $62.5 million deal that will pay him $26 million over the first 2 years of that deal. That's really their biggest one, honestly.
Yeah.
They got to protect Herbert.
That's
That's a really good signing.
that's a
by them.
really good signing. Protecting Herbert is the key now. They have the weapons. They need the protection.
Exactly.
We'll move on to the NFC East then. Dallas Cowboys, of course, we know that they signed Dak Prescott.
No, they didn't.
To a 4-year, $160 million contract.
Are you sure?
Max value of $164, includes $126 guaranteed. That's really their biggest signing.
Yeah.
They
can't afford anything else after that one.
They did go after Ty Nesky for a 1-year deal. Other than that, I feel like they're probably going to address line in the draft, maybe.
I would think so. Line or the defense, because the defense was horrible last year.
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised Dak got paid. To be honest, I didn't think Jerry Jones had any more money to give out.
Jerry Jones has a lot of freaking money.
Yeah.
He always seems to find it somewhere.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deep
Weird.
pockets, that guy.
Deep pockets.
Moving on to the New York Giants. Running back Devontae Booker agreed to a 2-year, $6 million deal. But the big one, defensive end Leonard Williams, he got the franchise tag, which is crazy. But then the team later agreed to a 3-year deal for $63 million. That includes a $45 million guarantee. Your thoughts on that one at all?
A building block for the defense. They got to keep going though. They got to keep building that defense up. I think the offense is there. It has the ability to be there. The defense has got to get off the field.
Yeah.
Is the biggest thing for the Giants.
All right, next up in the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles.
I see nothing.
Oh, they did something. They did something.
Yeah, we know what they did, but nothing in free agency. So we'll move on. Washington football team, big one, Ryan Fitzpatrick agreed to a 1-year, $10 million deal with a max of $12 million. Does he come in and take that starting quarterback spot right away? He does. Why, Francis?
The thing was when we did that off-season show where we each picked a team, and I picked the Washington Redskins, and I said Taylor Heineke should be the starter after that game.
Yeah.
Or after that. While bringing in Fitzpatrick tells me that the Washington football team front office doesn't have as much faith in Taylor Heineke as I do.
And they get paid a lot more than you do.
They get paid
for their
so
opinions.
much more.
Yep.
Actually, we could just say they get paid for it.
Yep.
They get.
That's not fair. You kind of get paid for this a little bit.
I mean, yeah.
High fives.
Anyway,
Square one, rental kitchen and events.
to be perfectly honest, seeing Fitzpatrick get signed by Washington, to me, I'm projecting them now to take a quarterback. I would say in the first round they'll take a quarterback for Fitzpatrick to groom again, like he did with Tua.
Stopgap, basically.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
Let's see. Any other thoughts, guys?
I mean, Brandon Scherf with the franchise tag, that's
Get a long-term deal done
good
with
to
him.
keep him. Yeah, get him signed up. But otherwise, no.
Miller, opinions, thoughts?
Yeah, they got to pay Brandon. So keep him, lock him up.
Very detailed.
as far as I like Fitzpatrick. I mean, I think he'll probably start, as Francis was saying, but I like Heineke better.
So do I.
They need to give him a shot. I mean,
Yep.
why not?
Younger, more
They got
mobile,
nothing
what
to
the
lose
hell,
at this
right?
point.
Why not?
Insurance move.
All right. Let's move into the NFC North, Jeff.
Oh boy.
Jeff.
Hold on, I'm
I
going to
like
laugh
how you
at
said
this
that.
one.
Let's move into the NFC North. Jeff.
This is our division.
So the NFC North, the Chicago Bears, were possibly going after quarterback Russell Wilson from the Seattle Seahawks.
They went after him.
Instead, they decided to take quarterback Andy Dalton, signing a 1-year, $10 million contract, has a max value of $13 million with incentives. Jeff, what are your thoughts on that one?
Way to go, Bears. Way to go. Thank you, Bears. Thank you for not bringing Russ Wilson.
Oh, my God,
to
right?
pair him up with Aaron Rodgers of two quarterbacks that we would have to play four total games a year against. Thank God.
That would have been terrible.
Miller, do you have any thoughts on it?
Basically, the only reason Seattle didn't trade him to the Bears is because they would have took such a hit on their cap that it would have been. They would have had no money whatsoever and would have had to get rid of other guys.
They got offered 3 first-rounders, a third-rounder, and 2 legit starters.
Russ is going to find his way to Chicago next year.
Shut up, Miller.
No, stop
Actually,
where's the mute button for Miller?
Mute him.
I'm gonna do you one better. I think the Bears signed Andy Dalton to trade him to Seattle for Russell Wilson
piece.
right here. Expect that to come on draft day. Are you muting me? Oh, no, I'm not muted.
I don't like
Hell no, to the no, no, no. Hell to the no, hell to the no, to the no, no, no. Hell no, no.
I mean, realistically, is there any particular reason that you'd want to come to Chicago if you're a quarterback?
Not
I
with
mean,
that
Nobody
line.
wants to.
Think about
for
it.
the defense, yes. The
Win
line,
at home, that's about it.
No.
Think about it, though. The offense, much like the Chargers, the weapons are there. They need an offensive line in Chicago, and they need a competent quarterback. I would say Andy Dalton is a competent quarterback in the NFL. He's taken teams to the playoffs.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Russell
fair.
Wilson is better.
Yeah.
You trade for Russell Wilson, maybe sign some offensive linemen, or maybe you don't need to sign some offensive linemen with Russell Wilson. Go stick with what you got, and maybe that helps.
He's been running for his life for so long. I feel like he would want to sign somewhere that has a decent, a better
I
offensive
don't
line
think he
at
wants
least.
to get hit
Right.
as much as he's been
Yeah,
getting hit.
or run
Don't
around
come
as
to
much.
Chicago then.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But I think the reason Chicago's on his list is the weapons. Allen Robinson, Anthony Miller, what's the other kid's name? Mooney, Darnell Mooney.
Oh, Darnell Mooney.
Yep. David Montgomery in there too. There's a lot of attractive pieces in Chicago.
No, God, please, no.
I would venture to predict that Andy Dalton is a Seahawk at some point.
Shut your mouth.
It is highly probable that will happen.
You shut your mouth too.
I got real pissed real fast. Moving on to Chicago Bears here. So Jermaine Ifedi re-signing a 1-year contract worth the $5 million. Defensive end Mario Edwards Jr. re-signing on a 3-year, $11.55 million deal, and Cairo Santos, kicker, 3-year deal, $9 million on that one. Moving on.
Go hit some goalposts.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Moving on, Detroit Lions now. Of course, we know that they acquired Jared Goff in a trade with the Los Angeles Rams for Matt Stafford and some other stuff.
A lot.
Yeah, we know. Defensive end Romeo Okwara. A 3-year deal, $39 million deal, includes a $14 million signing bonus and 26 over the first 2 years. 20 fully guaranteed at signing. Crazy. Lions, usually a doormat of the NFC North. I feel like
Still going to be a doormat.
Yep.
It's going to be worse this year for him.
No, I think it'll be a little better this year.
Think so?
for him. Yeah, I really do.
They're
I
still
think
not going to be good.
They actually kind of have a competent running back in Jamal Williams a little bit now. At least some kind of veteran
competent
presence.
backup?
To
To DeAndre Swift.
fair, but he's going to help him.
Yeah.
I mean, big
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Goff's good for the occasional big splash plays. No Matthew Stafford, but he's he's okay. I don't think they're going to be worse. I don't think they're going to be much better. But
if there's any Lions fans that listen to this, expect more of the same in 2021. The one I want to bring up here on our list is defensive tackle Michael Brockers was acquired in a trade. I believe that was yesterday.
Yep.
With the Rams. And it's funny, when the news of the Stafford Goff trade was announced, Michael Brockers actually said Matthew Stafford is a big step up from Jared Goff.
Oof.
And now he's back with Jared Goff.
That's funny. Yeah, that's really funny. All right, we'll move on from the Lions to the Green Bay Packers. Ooh. The one move that they've made, running back Aaron Jones re-signed on a 4-year contract worth $48 million.
Surprising to me.
Really?
A little bit. I really thought they would let him walk and have it be A.J. Dillon and Jamal Williams in the backfield.
And
I didn't think they were going to pay him that
Seattle
much.
would go find him.
I thought it would be Atlanta.
Or that too.
Or Miami.
Either way, I don't really want to see him back, but he's back, so whatever.
Yeah, got to deal with it.
Moving on to our Minnesota Vikings, Jeff. We got wide receiver Chad Beebe agreed to terms on a contract today.
Okay.
We paid Rashad Hill for whatever reason on a 1-year deal. Stephen Weatherly, after a year off in Carolina, came back and signed a 1-year deal.
I'm okay with that.
The one I actually like right now is defensive tackle Dalvin Tomlinson signing a 2-year, $22 million deal, $16 million fully guaranteed. I like that move for our defensive line. Michael Pierce coming back.
Exactly. I
like that a lot. We ended up releasing Shamar Stephen, I believe.
Yep.
So he'll fill that role there too.
It's almost a Williams Wall-esque sort of a pickup.
They're trying to get back to something like that.
There's a whole lot of human being on your defensive line.
Yes, there is.
There absolutely is, and I like that because we were missing that last year, actually.
Yeah.
So, we were talking about it pre-show. I think the Vikings seem to be like clearing some cap space for something, either just to be under the cap first and foremost, or maybe to figure out a way to, I don't know.
I think they have a move coming
Danielle
somewhere.
Hunter, maybe try to re-sign him or lock him up for a bigger, longer deal. Who knows?
I don't know what that move's going to be, but it does have that feel to it of like, man, they're making some moves. They're opening up room for a reason. They're not coming in 10 under the cap going into the season.
Right.
They will use that money.
Other than that, Vikings pretty quiet, and understandably so. They're up against it anyway.
I really liked what the Vikings did in free agency, getting Weatherly and Tomlinson. It actually affected who I currently have the Vikings taking in my mock draft 3.0, which you'll see tomorrow.
I got to be honest, because I ended up taking Rousseau in one of those picks, and
as did I in the first mock draft.
And no longer would that be the case.
Nope,
and honestly, even before that, we were talking about it. Even after the draft or whatever, the mock draft that we had last time.
Yep.
That would be modified. Do you have? I don't want to.
I do have the Vikings pick, but I'm not going to share it with everybody.
Fine.
I'll share it with you guys after recording.
That works.
Sounds good. All right, let's move on to the NFC South. So we're heading into Atlanta.
Yeah.
They didn't really do much, so we're going to move on.
Yep.
Carolina Panthers paid Pat Elflein for reasons, I guess.
Do you have the Simpsons ha-ha? Because that's kind of what...
That's where
it's more like this.
No! Or that works too.
Pat Elflein, 3 years, $11.5 million. We'll move on to the Saints then, I guess.
Real quick, they did sign Hassan Reddick today. That was going on while we were recording. I noticed it. It was a 1-year deal with a max value of $8 million. $6 million of it guaranteed. Hassan Reddick was a big part of the Cardinals' defense for a few years, so that's a good signing for Carolina.
All right, right on. New Orleans Saints, Jameis Winston re-signed a 1-year, $5.5 million deal. Yeah, whatever.
All right.
Ty Montgomery, former Packer, 1-year contract. Jesus.
The Saints are the funniest team in the league.
I guess so. And then Marcus Williams got franchise tagged.
Yeah, well...
It's probably their best move.
Yeah. Because what was the Saints were projected to be $43 million over the cap or something like that. It was not pretty. The Saints are going to look a lot different in 2021.
Yep. I'm all right with it. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Super Bowl champions. Chris Godwin got the franchise tag, and they're bringing everybody back, man. They're getting the band back together. Rob Gronkowski, 1 year, $8 million, worth up to 10. Shaq Barrett re-signed on a 4-year, $68 million deal.
Got paid.
36 of that guaranteed.
Kind of hoping Shaq Barrett would see the open market.
Yeah.
Levante David, 2 years, $25 million.
I like that re-sign for them. I really do.
And,
that was
and linebacker
needed.
Kevin Minter on a 1-year deal too, with nothing disclosed on that yet. So yeah,
every player that Tampa Bay has signed in free agency was on their Super Bowl team.
Yes,
their
sir.
own guys.
Yep.
Which leads us into the NFC West now. Yeah, Miller's like, hell yeah.
Miller's division. Here we go.
We'll start with the Arizona Cardinals. Wide receiver A.J. Green agreed to terms on a 1-year deal with a base value of $6 million.
Could be a good number 3.
J.J. Watt, of course, as we know, signed a 2-year, $31 million deal.
Not going to miss you, J.J.
$23 million guaranteed. And, of course, the big one, punter Andy Lee re-signing on a 1-year deal.
He got paid.
Any thoughts on anybody other than J.J. Watt?
The Green signing's pretty good. I mean, they got him at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't like that he went to the Cardinals.
Right.
No self-respecting 49ers fan would.
Right.
I like it. Like I said, at this stage in A.J. Green's career, with Cardinals already having Hopkins and Christian Kirk, he could be a solid 2-3 receiver. He's not an elite number 1 anymore. He hasn't been. Injuries have taken that from him.
Fair.
I'll say, but I think it's a good signing, especially for Kyler Murray. It's going to give him another big target to throw to.
Sure. All right, we'll move on to the Los Angeles Rams. Of course, we know Matthew Stafford acquired via trade for Jared Goff and some other stuff. And then linebacker Leonard Floyd agreed to a 4-year, $64 million contract, includes $32.5 guaranteed at signing.
Yeah, not Rams. I think the Rams were another one of those teams that were in salary cap hell.
Yep.
Yep.
And what is it? They're sitting on like $32.5 million in dead cap from trading Jared Goff.
Something like that.
Whoops.
So only to be dwarfed by Carson Wentz's.
That's a huge bitch.
All right, now we'll get into it. You ready for this, Miller?
Here we go, buddy.
Me.
Your San Francisco 49ers, starting with fullback Kyle Juszczyk, re-signed to a 5-year contract worth $27 million. Your thoughts on that?
I like it. He's it's probably a little expensive for a fullback, since fullback is kind of, going the way of the dodo bird these days. But he's kind of a do everything sort of guy.
I was going to
for the
say,
offense.
he's more than a fullback, man. He
does everything.
He's more like a tight end, I think.
H-back.
Yeah.
He,
Like the Jim Kleinsasser was.
basically.
Back in
Yeah,
the day.
there you go.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
a good
Yep.
I know.
comparison there.
I know. Thanks.
Offensive tackle Trent Williams re-signed a 6-year, get this, $138.06 million with $30.1 signing bonus, $55.1 fully guaranteed money. Holy S-word.
So basically, we're looking at a 3-year, $55 million contract for the most part. I mean, he's 33, going to be 34 when the season starts. There's no way he plays offensive tackle for 6 more years at that contract level.
You'd be surprised. I find offensive line, especially if you think back like the 90s and the 2000s, offensive linemen played it well into their late 30s.
Especially if they don't get hurt.
Right.
Like, that's the biggest thing.
Like,
if they stay healthy,
was it
a
Matt?
lineman like him can get by.
Yep.
Yeah, and you can always slide him inside, too.
Yep.
And that helps alleviate a little bit of the problem when they lose that mobility.
Right. Because what Jason Peters is, 39, and
He's
he
old.
was still in the league last year.
Yeah.
I go back looking at Vikings. Matt Burke played into his late 30s,
Yep.
although with the Ravens. For the Titans, Bruce Matthews, I think, played into his
God.
40s.
That dude seemed like he was 60
he
when
played,
he ended.
He
but
played forever. So, I mean, it stands to reason that he could play till he's, that would be 40? Maybe not till 40 now, but certainly could.
You never know.
Who knows, right?
I think he'll be, one of the top 5 tackles for the next year or two. And, I mean, after the 3rd year, basically all that money's already paid out, so they won't have any
Fair enough.
any dead cap money.
I'm not going to
Fair
lie, I
enough.
wish he was a tackle on my team.
I would take him.
I'm good.
Staying on the offensive line, we have center Alex Mack, re-signed a 1-year, $5.5 million contract. Other side of the ball, DJ Jones re-signed a 1-year contract. Samson Ekbom signed a 2-year, $12 million deal.
Ebicam.
What did I say, Ekbom?
Yeah.
Ebicam, yes, thank you.
Ebicam.
Don't know much about the guy. What do you know?
I know he played for the Rams.
Yep.
He was drafted by the Rams. He was
solid.
He was a part of
He was
their
solid.
defense. He was solid.
He's a sideline to sideline kind of guy.
Yep.
He's real fast.
Yep.
You got some name splash with him every now and again.
Oh, yeah.
Watching their games, but
Yep. I like the Alex Mack signing for the Niners.
Yeah,
He's a really good center. He's going to help hopefully keep Jimmy Garoppolo on the field.
Yeah, somebody has to. I like the Mosley signing for the cornerback position. I mean,
Just getting to that, yeah.
He, you know, he's a real solid guy. He can make plays on the ball. Not the greatest athlete, I don't think, but he'll do for now until the draft comes.
fair enough.
Well, more cornerback Jason Verrett staying on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, I know. San Francisco's really a lot of people around the league are actually really high on Jason Verrett.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's a good signing.
His whole thing is, can he stay on the field? He was, I mean,
Right.
he didn't play
I
for
think
the better
he's
part
got,
of 2 or 3 years or something.
I think he's had like 3 ACLs.
It's been a dumb nump.
Whoops.
Yeah.
And last but not least, anything else you want to say about your Niners?
As long as they can get rid of the injury bug and keep everybody on the field, I mean,
That's San
That would be
Francisco's
helpful.
biggest thing.
they
is
will
the
have
injury
a
bug.
pretty decent squad this year.
They should have been okay last year, except for a million injuries. But
Right on. I don't really have much on the Seahawks, Francis.
Nothing. Yeah, I
No.
mean, nose tackle Poona Ford re-signed on a 2-year deal, and cornerback Akello Witherspoon signed a 1-year deal. Just waiting for it to say acquired Andy Dalton in a trade with Chicago.
stop it.
Oh my God!
I've been
Jake,
waiting for
Jake,
the
just-
Niners to get rid of Witherspoon for like 3 years,
Sure,
and then he goes to the Seahawks. So I'm actually that's a good
he's
signing.
actually
by them.
fine with it.
Right on.
He's terrible.
There you go. There you go. I like that.
Thank you for your expert analysis, Miller.
Dynamite drop in, Miller. All right. Well, hey, that actually wraps up the free agent signings as of today at 6:32 p.m. on the first of the league year, March 17, 2021. What I want to do, guys, is get into a few of the best NFL free agents yet available and maybe speculate a little bit on where they might land. We mentioned it earlier in the show. At the top of the list right now is Kenny Golladay, currently being linked to the New York Giants. Kind of had an injury-marred 2020 season, but, I mean, still a very good, viable wide receiver. He's only 27 years old. Do you think he actually gets and signs with the Giants, or is there somebody else that might come in and swoop him up? Anybody?
Man, I mean,
I think he would look good with the Dolphins as well.
he'd look really good with the
really
Dolphins.
good with the Dolphins. The Giants obviously need him because I think what they released Golden Tate, and I don't really trust Sterling Shepard or
Fair.
Evan Ingram.
Fair.
They have another guy over there with the Giants that I can't think of. There's Kenny Golladay would be good on every roster in the league.
Yeah.
I mean,
Anybody could use a Kenny Golladay.
yeah.
I
I
think.
mean,
He's going to help whoever he goes to.
Baltimore would be another good option for him.
He's not a number 1. He's not a number 3. He's not really a number 2. He's like a 1.75.
He's like a hybrid one.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yep.
I don't know what to classify him as.
Instead of like a standard 3-iron in golf, he's your hybrid 3. You know what I mean?
Okay,
like
sure.
He's that little bit more than you'd think you'd get out of somebody.
What do you think, Miller? Would you take a Kenny Golladay on your team?
Oh, absolutely. I'd take any receiver at this point for the 49ers. I'm not exactly sure who Garoppolo is going to be throwing the ball to at this point. But,
Debo still
Samuel,
and
yeah.
Brandon Ayuk.
yeah, he was another guy that was hurt a lot last year. But
Yep.
I have a lot of confidence in Debo. Ayuk, I need to see more out of him.
That's
Fair
fair.
enough.
That's fair.
Fair.
But we got Kittle coming back, so there's a chance
That-
he could get 100 receptions.
Healthy
this year.
Kittle's big.
That will
Right.
be huge for the Niners.
Healthy
next year,
Kittle's
for
big.
sure. Next free agent on my list, guys, Jadeveon Clowney. Kind of got some low stock right now, but probably fine for a team that might need an edge guy. 28 years old, capable of, maybe breaking into a second phase of his career with another team, but definitely had a lackluster year with Tennessee.
Yeah, he did.
To say the least, I guess.
Yeah, he sucked.
Anywhere you see Clowney ending up,
at home. That's where I see him. No, I'm being serious.
We're going to mute Francis for a minute, and we're going to go to other people.
He is one of those guys that he sucked last year, and I could see somebody like a Kansas City picking him up when everybody's like,
spell guys.
Yeah,
not to start, right?
Not to start, but just to spell him. And all of a sudden, he starts producing in KC because everybody seems to start producing in KC for some reason right now. So I can see something like that happening with him where he finds the right fit and he just becomes that guy.
Miller, what do you think?
He's such a boomer bust kind of guy.
He is.
And 100%. He might be good, 3-4 games of the year, like really good stats, but otherwise he disappears so much, and I think that's scaring a lot of teams away.
If you think about
not offering the money he probably wants.
If you think about it too, he's kind of been that way his entire career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's never been sustainable, and it's either been injury or it's been just
lack of motivation.
Lack of there it is, lack of motivation. There it is.
I didn't realize my mic. I think he's gonna find himself at home. Honestly, I got to watch a lot of him when he was with Houston, playing against Tennessee. I got to watch a lot. Well, as much of him as I could when he was in Tennessee. He absolutely takes plays off.
Yeah.
For number one overall pick, he takes plays off. There are times he just
maybe that's why he takes them off. He thinks he can.
He doesn't seem interested in playing certain plays. So yeah, honestly, I don't think a team signs. I think a team maybe late in the preseason, if they have an injury, will sign him. But outside of that, he's going to sit at home.
Here's one for you, Miller. If your team had any money they wanted to spend on a wide receiver, Will Fuller, healthy and on his way to a monster season. 2020 ended with a PED suspension, which will also actually carry over to this year, week 1.
Yep.
However, regardless of that, still a fast wide receiver, has proven himself, even with the PED thing. Miller, what do you think about that one?
I think you kind of lump Fuller, Curtis Samuel, and Juju Smith in kind of the same category.
Oh.
I mean, I feel like their games are pretty much all the same. Skill levels kind of the same as well.
I would say Samuels and Juju's are similar. Will Fuller is just a speedster, in my opinion. But go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No. It's but I mean, you get what you pay for those guys. They're not number ones. But maybe Juju has the potential, but he's kind of. I don't think he is personally. So
fair enough.
Jeff?
Nah, I'm good.
No, Francis.
Will Fuller. I mean, the Titans do need another receiver. I'd love to see him stretch the field for AJ Brown. I think he's going to go to a team like Green Bay.
Yeah.
I said it quietly this time. I'm having more fun with the Russell Wilson to Chicago thing, to be honest.
You do a whole podcast to get about that.
So, okay, just a quick stray from the leftover free agents.
Yep.
Something just came up on NFL Network right now as we're watching, kind of in the background. Should the Jets trade Sam Darnold? And it's a very valid question if you think about it. They do have the first pick, they don't have the first pick in the draft. They have number 2 in the draft.
Number 2.
Right, hold on.
Oh, Jesus.
Timing
is everything.
Here we go. But no, for real though, should they trade Sam Darnold? I mean, if some of these draft mock drafts come to fruition, they're taking a quarterback, right?
I'm gonna stay out of this conversation.
Okay,
just read
Jeff?
my mock draft tomorrow.
I mean, you should be able to get some draft capital out of him, and there's enough teams that Sam Darnold's not bad. I honestly don't think he is a bad quarterback. I really don't.
I think he's a poorly coached quarterback.
Exactly. The kid's got talent.
He didn't really win the lottery with Adam Gase.
No. So, if they trade him, I think he's going to have a good career somewhere. Should they trade him? what are they going to do in the draft? I mean, unless they trade out of that. If they trade out of it, obviously they're not trading him. If they draft a quarterback, then yeah, goodbye Sam, and they're going to find somebody.
Steve-O.
I think he's so shell-shocked from the last couple of years with gas in there that I don't know that there's any way he can really rebound with his career in New York at the moment. So he probably does need a change of scenery just to and I think the Jets probably need a change of scenery from him as well.
Probably, yeah.
Not that he's a bad quarterback. I mean, I have the utmost.
Shell-shocked is a kind way to put it. I'd have to agree with you there. My opinion is if they have a chance to get anything for Sam Darnold, you do it.
Take it.
You absolutely do it, especially with number 2 pick. I think you're probably picking up a quarterback there. This isn't going to ruin your mock draft, Francis. I want to know, should he be traded? And if he does, who does he go to?
I don't think he should be traded.
Okay.
As it sits. If he were to be traded, I think it'll be probably the Houston Texans getting, with the Jets getting Deshaun Watson. It could be the Carolina Panthers. It could be the Atlanta Falcons getting Matt Ryan's replacement. I was watching NFL Network the other day, yesterday actually, and Brian Billick said it best. Former coach of the Ravens, Brian Billick said it best. This year there are probably 20 teams who need a quarterback. There's about half the teams in the league need a quarterback. So somebody who wants a quarterback and a young quarterback is going to probably call the Jets. I personally don't think he should be traded, but that's my opinion.
All right. We'll get into just a couple more, some other free agents withstanding here. Anthony Harris, former Viking, did have a play dip in 2020, but before that was a pretty solid safety.
Yep.
Any team looking for some defensive help, I think, could probably use him, honestly.
Yeah.
Chris Carson, running back.
I've heard he's rumored to go just about everywhere.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of teams are, including Seattle. Seattle's still in contact with him.
Offensive tackle Eric Fisher. Chiefs obviously needed to save some cap space, so they ended up parting ways. He did blow out his Achilles in January.
In the AFC Championship, correct?
Yep.
But even still, Eric Fisher's still a quality tackle. You see a team getting him?
Somebody will take a flyer.
Somebody will take him.
He might be one of those guys that comes in a few weeks into the season that, they got an injury.
Yeah.
Sure.
Got to make sure he's healthy first.
Yeah.
For sure.
Cap casualty, former Titan Malcolm Butler.
He'll find his way to a team.
Yeah, he'll find it.
Former 49er Richard Sherman.
I've heard rumors. I've heard rumors the Saints are interested in Richard Sherman. So,
Francis's favorite wide receiver, Sammy Watkins,
will not find a team.
Don't think so.
He'll find a team.
He always finds a team.
Some team is going to go out there and be like, "Oh man, Sammy Watkins. Yeah, he was the number 4 overall pick." Well, the Bills made a mistake making him the number 4 overall pick.
And wasn't he even talking about prior to this last season about retirement? Even
yeah, he was.
I don't get it. Ian, we were talking about that earlier too. I think pre-show is the game tells you when it's time.
Yep, the game will tell you.
You don't get to say when it's time at all. Antonio Brown, guys, wide receiver. He's a 33-year-old wide receiver. He was a little bit more productive than we might remember. He had 483 yards in 8 regular season games last year, but obviously didn't look the old part of the AB as we're used to seeing for obvious reasons.
Right.
Anywhere? Does he land anywhere? Does he go back to Tampa Bay? Does anything happen with Antonio Brown?
I think he'll find a team. I think there are enough. I don't think he got his Super Bowl ring, so he has
not
nothing
as motivated.
Has nothing left to play for. I think he'll go to a team where he can be a number 1 because I'm sure that's what he wants is to still be a number 1. I could see a team like Detroit signing him because they don't have anybody.
Why are you gonna be hating on my Vikings, bro?
I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm not doing it on purpose.
Ridiculous.
I mean, he could go back to New England, because who would you rather have, a 33-year-old Antonio Brown or Nelson Aguilar?
Antonio Brown,
All
probably.
right then.
Yeah.
All right then.
What do you think about a Seattle Seahawks for the Antonio?
For Antonio Brown?
Him and Metcalf out there.
Yeah,
running
and then
around.
Tyler
boy.
Lockett in the slot.
Yeah.
That might be an attitude thing, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can handle him out there.
Yeah. He'll
Somebody
find
would shoot him.
He'll find. Jeez, aggressive.
Dang.
Wow.
Comes back from the bathroom and just right to shooting people. Dang, man.
Well, yeah, okay.
No, he'll find a team.
Did everything come out okay? Like, are you?
Like, do you need a hug or something?
Well, now I'm second guessing myself.
Do you
But
need
okay, carry on.
Do you need a massage of some sort to
Well-
help with things?
Jeez. Anyway, no, Antonio Brown will be a number one on a bad team next year.
All right.
I can see that.
Former Colt and former Viking Xavier Rhodes. He's 31 now.
He'll find a team.
Yeah,
I think he will too.
He had a strong showing in Indianapolis. He'll get a
he
deal
actually
done.
did look really
Change
good
of
in
scenery
Indy.
did well for him.
Yep.
Just a couple more here, guys, and we probably have to go. Jaquiski Tart, safety, 29 years old, former 49er. Kind of an injury risk, but pretty. He's a tone setter out there. He's a decent safety, I think, for maybe looking for a thumper. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, he's not flashy, but he's solid. He always has been. He's never been a guy that's going to wow you, but he makes good plays. He's a smart player.
Yeah, smart players always tend to find their way on teams. I don't know how big the injury risk. Apparently, it's significant. If teams can try to mitigate that risk, I guess he'll definitely find his way onto a team.
Yeah.
All right, just a few more names. We'll touch on them real fast, just because they're kind of high profile, a little bit older. Patrick Peterson, cornerback. He's 31 now. Obviously, not going back to the Cardinals.
He'll find his way somewhere.
If he converts to safety.
Yep.
He'll be a Viking.
Oh, really?
No more Harris and bring him in? Is that where you're
No.
kind of going with this?
I'm not mad about
I know.
I'm-
Peterson was linked to the Vikings. I think it was last year, the year before, something like that. And I think maybe they take an opportunity and they say, "Hey,
I can see Zimmer seeing him cheap
here's
and
$5
going.
million bucks." I mean, that's where your cap space is coming from. They
Yep.
need to sign a guy. And to be honest, not that their secondary is totally terrible in Minnesota, but they're pretty young. And
Yeah.
they can use
Young.
that veteran.
Actually,
leadership.
that would not be terrible.
I wouldn't mind
take.
Patrick Peterson alongside Kevin Byard in Nashville.
Oh.
Don't get greedy.
Maybe he'll go to Chicago.
Ndamukong Suh, defensive tackle. He's 34 years old. I thought he was probably going to go back to the Buccaneers. I still think that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think you'll find his way back there.
He'll find his way to a different team. I think he still has enough motor, enough tread on the tires where he'll find his way to a team with a 32nd pick. With Bucks having the 32nd pick, I feel like they can draft Sue's replacement.
Sure.
And protect him with Shaq Barrett.
We actually talked about that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think Sue will find a team. I don't think it'll be Tampa Bay.
Yeah, he's going to whoever's writing the biggest check.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Just a couple more here, guys. Actually, one of the more surprising cuts of the offseason, linebacker Kyle Van Noy. He's got a ability of handling different roles. I thought he's a damn good linebacker, and
He is. He definitely
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
it was a surprising cut. But I think it was more of a cap casualty thing as well. But he'll definitely find a team. Here's a name for you haven't heard in a while: Cordero Patterson, wide receiver, formerly of the Chicago Bears.
He had another kick return last year, didn't he?
Did
Yeah.
Yeah.
If a team needs a return specialist,
I was
he'll
going to
find
say
his
the
way
guy.
there.
He's
Yep,
the guy.
he's the guy.
for that reason alone, he'll find
I
a
would
team.
say he would be. I know Andre Roberts got a deal first, but I would probably rather have Cordero Patterson over Andre Roberts as
Yeah.
a special teamer. So, he'll find a team for sure.
that is really all I had. Unless you guys had any other ones that came to mind.
No, I can't. I
Des
don't really
Bryant
have
says
him.
he wants to play 2 more years. Anybody
Really?
pick him
Yeah,
up?
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, safety Keanu Neal, formerly of the Falcons, just 26 years old. I believe he's been an All-Pro in the league, been a Pro Bowler.
Yep, he has.
Injuries have been his issue, much like a bunch of these guys who are still out here. 26 years old, if he's healthy, he's going to be a damn good player for whoever signs him.
Yep.
And he'll be on the cheap, too, just due to those injuries.
Sure. Agreed.
That's all I got.
Anybody else have anything else?
Nope.
I'm good.
Jared Cook, I know he's still out there.
Actually, I'd
He'll
be
find a
curious,
team.
where do you think Rudy lands?
Ooh. I think here's the deal. He's not going to find a team in the offseason.
Right.
It's going to take an injury.
I think you're right.
And I think it'll be in the first 5 weeks of the regular season he'll find a team.
I like a Panthers reunion with Teddy Bridgewater. Over there.
Okay.
That'd be interesting.
Now that Olsen's gone, it makes sense.
I don't know. I think the Vikings released him at the right time.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to take less money, and he wasn't going to settle for being a blocking tight end. And
We couldn't keep him.
there's no way. No, honestly, I think we held on to him 2 or 3 years too long.
I think you're right, too.
Agreed.
But
I think I want to agree with Jake. I think the game has unfortunately passed him by.
It happens.
And
happens to everyone.
I like Kyle Rudolph too.
Father Time will catch up
Yep,
at some point.
Father Time is undefeated, and I think Father Time has claimed his next victim in Kyle Rudolph's career.
Unless you're Tom Brady.
Well, yeah.
He's got doctors, though.
Yeah.
That dude's a
There is
cyborg.
that.
Anyway,
Well, hey, that was our free agent episode and the start of the 2021 calendar year for the NFL, and it was a lot of fun.
Happy New Year's, Francis.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Special thank you to Steve Miller for coming in and joining us today.
Well, special
Thanks,
thanks
Miller.
for having me, guys. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
You are
It's been
welcome.
fun. Let's
You
do
are
it
welcome
again.
anytime you want to come back. For Francis Parkman and Jeff Salmonson, the normal ones, I'm Jake Salter. Thanks for joining us, everybody. You have a good rest of your day and happy St. Patrick's Day. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Cellar Dweller Sportscast, a Quick 56 production. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast app and listen to previous episodes as well. Also, don't forget to interact with the guys on Facebook and Twitter. Once again, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.